This video was designed to show you how to use and properly take care of your Big Power system. Your Big Power has three main functions. Number one, it's a world-class air purifier. Number two, it will replace all vacuums, dusters, and brooms, making it the best cleaning system in the world. Number three, it extracts water and can also be used as a shampooer and to mop and squeegee hard surfaces. Let's review the motor. On the back of your Big Power, you have a speed dial. This is to maximize efficiency. 1 to 2 is for cleaning the air. 3 to 4 is for vacuuming. Never vacuum past 4, otherwise the water will drip up into your filters. The high speeds are only used for shampooing. Underneath your Big Power, you have two post filters. They are held on by just a simple screw and filter plate. First, you have a 1.5 inch foam filter. This is the thickest foam filter in the world. If it gets wet or dirty, just get it wet in the sink, put a bead of dish soap all the way around it, and then just squeeze it until it comes clean. Rinse all the soap out, squeeze it dry, let it set and dry before you use it again. It protects a microfilter. This microfilter can last anywhere from 6 months to 3 years if you use the machine properly and you keep your foam filter clean and dry. We also have an anti-microfilter which can be purchased from your distributor. This is used in hospitals and in clean rooms. Comes with just the standard microfilter, which is a little bit better than a HEPA filter. Now to place this back on, make sure the filter sets completely within the crown. Put your foam filter on the outside. Place your filter plate and screw back on. Just turn the screw finger tight so that it is snug. These are the parts to your Big Power. This is called the deflecting collar. You place it into the mixing assembly right here. The other part is called the deflecting rod cone. You place that into the center of your mixing assembly. Once this is completely put together, you fill your water bucket up to the top of the line with cold tap water. Place your assembly into the bucket. In the front of your bucket there is a small protrusion. This lines up with the V in the front of your motor housing. Once you have them lined up, you can latch the latches down. The on-off button is in the front of your Big Power. Push it forward to turn it on. This section covers the air wash of your Big Power. To use it to clean the air, all you do is fill it up with water to the top of the white line and turn it on, using it on the lower speeds 1 to 2. Turn it on for 10 to 15 minutes at a time in a room that you're at. If you want to do the whole house, leave it on for 45 to an hour at a time. All you have to do is put water in it, turn it on. It's going to completely clean the air of all dust, pollens, and pollutants. It puts out the perfect humidity of 45 to 55% into the air, which is what most people and doctors and scientists agree is the most comfortable for us. It also at the same time will deodorize the air by trapping odors in the water. Instead of using Lysols, air sprays, things like that, which basically poison the air, the water will naturally deodorize the air and you'll have a nice fresh water-washed air in your house anytime you like. Now the Big Power also has some additives, aromatherapeutic ingredients and things that will work with your Big Power. One of the first things we have is sea salt. The sea salt is very, very healthy for you. It puts ions into the air, which is very healthy for your skin. It's also relaxing to the nervous system. Now all you do is you take about a tablespoon, 1 to 2 tablespoons of salt, place it directly into the water. Make sure you put your mixer back together. Clamp it down and turn it on. Now while you're putting the ions into the air with the sea salt, you're also going to be cleaning the air. So you get multiple benefits from the Big Power with anything you use it for. Some people like fragrances. The Big Power company has came up with a whole line of different fragrances, which should be listed on your screen below. When you use the fragrances, all you do is place anywhere from 6 drops up to a dozen drops directly into the water. Place it on. All of the fragrances can be used in conjunction with the sea salt. The sea salt actually will enhance the fragrances. You can use them by themselves also. Now, we do not recommend using any other fragrances except for what the Big Power Company recommends, because that can void your warranty. Now, one of the other things that the Big Power will do for you is you can place our eucalyptus or balsamic into the water, and this will replace the standard vaporizer. If your children get sick, put that into the room for 10 minutes before they go to the bed with the eucalyptus. Turn it off, take it out of the room. You're going to have that medicine in the air for hours, helping them breathe easier. Now, for perfect sanitization of the air, we have a substance called Hammond chlor. You can place, just a little bitty quarter of a teaspoon in the water, and this will virtually kill every type of virus known to man. This will give you perfect sanitization of the air, just like they do in the hospitals. In the summertime, we have a product called Zanzarite. This has citronella oil in it and geranium oil in it. You place this in the water, and it will help keep mosquitoes out of your house. It works on some other smaller flying insects also. For more information, you can call our 877 number. Your Big Power comes with an assortment of tools. These are the standard tools that come with it. First, you have an edger, an upholstery tool, and a duster. You have a floor or broom tool with 2 extension wands. It has an 8-foot hose and wheels. Now, your broom tool will go right onto the extension wands like this. What's unique about our broom tool is the wheels. If your wheels get clogged with hair, you just depress on this blue button right here, slide it down, and the wheels will come off. And you can clean the axles off. Placing it back in, sliding the blue slot back into place. Your upholstery tools and edgers. Now, the edger is very, very unique in that it ratchets and swivels to get underneath the hard-to-reach places in the car. These fit on your tool caddy along with your duster and are placed right onto your broom tool. Your hose depresses into the locking mechanism. To release any of your attachments from the hose, press on the large end of the blue button and release. Now, the wheels of your Big Power have a protrusion in the front. This lines up with the indentation in the front of your water bucket. Place it on, lined up like that, and it will stay on. To release, place your foot on the front of the wheels and just pull the Big Power off like that. Now, the hose, this hose is a friction lock. You place it into the front of the Big Power, give it a little twist, and as long as you're pulling the hose like you would be using it at an angle, it will not come out. To release, twist and pull straight out. These are the standard attachments that come with your Big Power. Your Big Power also comes with available power nozzle. This is one of the world's best power nozzles for taking care of carpets. If it is not assembled by a salesperson in the home, this is how you would assemble it. You have 2 extension wands. Just place the first one into the power nozzle. The second one has a cord guide for your hose. This is your top one. Now, your power cord from the power nozzle to the top here. You have a beveled side on the cord guide. You also have a beveled edge to the cord here. Place this up the hole and then pull it back down to the cord holder here depressing it into the cord guide. Leave a loop at the middle and a loop at the bottom. Now your hose, place this, line the button here up with a hole on your wands, pushing it straight in until it aligns and depresses. Now, you have an 8-foot hose with your power nozzle. It also is a friction lock. Now your power cord here, first, place your hose into the intake, pushing it straight in, giving it a little twist. Your power cord goes into the plug-in right below the power button on your motor here. Make sure it's all the way in. The power nozzle will only work when it's pushed down into the working position. You have an on-off switch on the handle here also. Now for vacuuming or using any of the vacuum tools, you want your big power only on 3 or 4. Another warning, if it is vacuuming on high, it will get your filters wet. So always use on the 3 or 4. Now, one of the uses of how you use the big power properly is keeping your hand on the handle and a hand on the hose close to the machine, approximately like this, so that when you are vacuuming, the machine will stay close behind you and the hose will be at the perfect angle where it will not come out. If your hose is straight, it will pop out. At that point, it's the user's fault. If your power nozzle does not seem to be working properly or picking up, there's a few things you should check. First, you should check your belt. Now this is the easiest way to check it, but you have to be careful. Flip the power nozzle upside down so you can see the roller. Turn it on so that the roller is rolling. Place the palm of your hand lightly on the bristles. Press down slightly. If the roller stops easily, then your belt is worn. If it starts to tickle or burn your hand, then your belt is fine. If your belt is fine, then you should check for a blockage in your power nozzle. How you do that is you use a regular Phillips screwdriver and undo these 3 screws along this bottom plate right here, then pull the plate off. Check for blockage right in here. If that's clear and your belt is not worn, then check for blockage in the hose. How you would do that is simply take your hose off, take it to the sink, in a sink or bathtub, and run water through the hose. If there is a blockage there, the water will force the blockage out. Thoroughly dry the inside of your hose before you use it again. Now, to change the belt on your power nozzle, again, loosen the 3 screws in the face plate, pull the plate off. Your roller will just pull right out like this. You have on each end, you have a bearing plate. Replace the belt by taking the old belt off and placing the new belt on the motor pin right here. Make sure it's on there correctly. Then put the roller under the belt like this. Now your bearing plates have a little bump on one side, 2 of them on one side, and 4 on the other. Make sure that you have both bearings with the same number of bumps facing up, and it should be 2. Roll this with your hands to make sure the belt is aligned correctly. Place the face plate on securely. Make sure all the edges are snapped in place, and then tighten up 3 screws back in here, only finger tight. If you have any, if the motor is not running, here's the next thing you check. First, you should check that your hose is connected here properly and your on-off button is on, and that this is in the working position. This will not work when it is standing up like that. It has to be pressed down into the working position. If these things are correct, then the next thing you would want to check is whether or not you have this connection in right. This has a connection here. This should be placed in there firmly. And then make sure that this connection is plugged in all the way firmly. If all these things are fine and it is still not working, then you need to get it to the service department. The most commonly asked question is how often to change the water in the Big Power. If you're using your Big Power just for cleaning the air, running it for 15 minutes at a time, you can do that periodically through the day. And you can use the same water for the whole day. When not in use, you should make sure that your motor housing is off the water, as water will condensate and can get the filters moist. So, for air cleaning, you can use the same water all day long. You might have to add a little bit during that time if you turn it on 3, 4, 5 times during the day. Most people only use it once in the morning and once in the evening for cleaning the air. The reason you don't have to use it all the time, all day long, is because with the vacuum attachments, you've eliminated the dust problem at the source. Now, when vacuuming, you're using it on 3 or 4. Your Big Power never stops picking up the dirt out of the carpet. Do half your living room and then check the water. If you cannot see your hand through the water, and the water looks like this, can you get a good close-up of that? Then it's time to change it. So check it after you've cleaned half the living room. If it looks like this, take this, dump it out, rinse and fill this up with clean water, and then place your mixer back in. It is not necessary to clean your mixer and all these components here in between water changings while you're cleaning the house. It is only important to clean this mixer when you're completely done for the day. Any more questions, please call. Now, how often you should wash your blue foam filter and change your microfilter depends on the use. If you just get in the habit of looking at this filter like this when you're done vacuuming for the day, if your blue filter is not blue, it's discolored and dirty, take it off and wash it in the sink with cold water and dish soap as explained earlier. Make sure it's completely dry before you use it again. If your microfilter and your foam filters are getting wet when you're vacuuming, check your speed dial. If you're vacuuming too high, the water goes up in the filters. If that's not the problem, then perhaps you have vacuumed too long and filled the container up with too much dirt, which has raised the water level. The other problem might be that there's shampoo residue, soap residue left in your carpets from previous shampooings. These are the 3 things why your filter might be getting wet when you're vacuuming. When you're all done for the day cleaning, I'm going to show you how to easily wash and store your Big Power. Your mixer assembly is going to have dirt on the inside and outside of this. Your bucket will be fairly dirty. If you just dump it down the toilet like this or outside, some people use a 5-gallon bucket and drill a bunch of holes in the bottom and set that bucket right outside their back door, and they just dump this in that bucket. When the bucket gets full of carpet and hair and refuse, they'll throw that bucket away. Now, dump it out like this, and then just rinse this off quickly and easily in the kitchen sink or the bathtub, or even with a garden hose outside. It rinses off simple and easy, then just store it upside down like this. This will rinse off, simple and easy, it takes 10 seconds. Same with your deflecting collar. This will have hair and carpet in here. You can use a paper towel and pull all that refuge out from the top and the bottom, throwing it in the garbage, then rinsing the outside and the inside out. This will take just a few minutes. You do not have to scrub with soap and water unless you want to. Once these are rinsed off and clean, store this back together like this. You bucket upside down, it'll drip dry, and that's the proper, easy way. It takes 2 minutes to clean these up, which will save you hours and hours for the rest of your life of chasing the same dust around. Now, the Big Power cord is an industrial cord. It's very long and very thick. This is how I take care of my cord at home. I just wrap it around my knee like this, twisting all the tangles out towards the open end. And believe me, you know what I'm doing here. You've been through this before with other cords. So, if you start at the machine and run everything out towards the end, all your tangles won't be there when you go to use it the next time. Now once this is wrapped up like this, all I do is store this right in the wheels and the motor on top of that like this. The broom tools and attachments will sit in your closet. Your power nozzle will also stand up in your closet also. This is the easiest way to take care of your Big Power. If you take care of your Big Power properly, you will get many, many, many years use out of your machine. You can also get a shampoo unit with your Big Power. We have 3 solutions for doing 3 different surfaces in your house. We have the carpet solution for doing carpets, Acarite, which is for doing your mattresses. This is safe for humans, not very good for dust mites. This eliminates dust mites. We also have floor cleaner for your tile or hard surfaces or linoleum. Now, to use your Big Power shampooer, you must remember to always take off your filters and your filter plate. This is your shampoo bucket. You put whatever solution you're going to use, anywhere from 3 ounces to 6 ounces, directly into the large hole in the top of the bucket, and then fill this up with hot water. Now, you have a indentation here. This lines up with your wheels. You have the protrusion there, which lines up with your water bucket. Now, you want to start with no water in here and put defoamer into the reservoir. This part squirts the water onto the floor. This part is where it's going to be picked up with. So if you put 3 ounces in here, put 1.5 ounces of defoamer into the bucket here. Place that on top here. Your motor goes on here. Remember, taking the filters and the filter plate off. And you want to plug this into where you plug the power nozzle in, just like that. Now, on your wands, you have your carpet cleaning part here. If you're doing linoleum or hard surfaces, we have a squeegee. The squeegee just slides on to the front with the rubber part being in the front. This is for doing linoleum and tile. But for carpets, this has to be off. Now you also have one other attachment, your upholstery and car attachment here. Now the wands lock on with this little lever right here. Placing this straight up releases it. Put it in and pull it to the side, locks it in place. Now, your handheld tool goes on and locks in place the same exact way. Now this is also a friction lock. So the hose goes in the top here. This part goes right into the bottom bucket. Just push it straight in until it snaps. Start on a low speed, turning this on, and that will start your water pump going. Put a fine mist in the carpet. Generally, what we do is I'd start at one edge of the carpet, making sure my water's going out. Place your soap and water solution into the carpet. Start at one end of the room, go to the other end of the room. It's also important that carpet is scrubbed in two directions to get the best cleaning out of it. Once you have your soap solution down, turn your big power up on high, and this does the extraction. Now I'm not pulling the trigger now, I'm extracting water only. When you see that no more water is coming up the front, then you've extracted as much as you're going to get out of the carpet there. The carpet will dry if used properly within just a few hours. When you're all done, make sure you let your hoses and wands dry out. Empty your soap reservoir and everything. Clean and wash your big power. Store it away properly. Any questions? Call our 800 number.